Okay, I'm back. Look, I told you guys, my husband is like Superman. He knows everything. But he just showed me how to remove this cartridge here. And so there's a handy button right here on the side, and I just press it and boom, the cartridge comes out. So this starter kit comes with 2 cartridges, which is really amazing. So again, the starter kit was the 2 cartridges, and let's put this all back here. So in this Byrna starter, we have the Byrna LE. There's a cartridge in it already. There's a cartridge here, and then we've got sample packs of the pepper spray, kinetic projectiles, and the eco-kinetic, which are biodegradable. And then we've got 2 12-gram CO2s. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I get ready to practice with my Byrna. And yes, I did read the instructions. I've been watching the YouTubes. We've been getting all that information in, and also practicing safety. Is that I want to load it, and it's super easy. The cartridge was empty, and it's got 2 in it right now. And there's just this easy piece where you can just put everything in. So I can just pop it in, and boom, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And just like that, it's all done. This is great. I love it. So easy. Now, as you heard me say earlier, the Byrna works based on CO2 cartridges, and that CO2 is what propels the projectile. All right, but one of the things I really found attractive about Byrna from the very beginning is the fact that your cartridge is also the tool that you use to insert and remove your Byrna, your CO2. And so what you'll see is that there's a little knob at the end of this thing. Can you guys see that? See that little knob down there? And there's a little knob here. This is where you put the CO2 canister. And you can just use this end, stick it in here, and turn. It's literally that easy, folks. Like, this thing's amazing. I love it. And boom. So right now there's nothing in here, but let's put a CO2 canister in. And the way that we'll do that is just by putting it in point end first. We'll insert it in. And then we'll take this. I'm just going to first start it in with my fingers just to get it started. And then I'll use the cartridge to tighten that up. Okay. So that's done. It's locked and loaded, and that's ready to go. All right, something I do want to talk about really briefly are these CO2 cartridges. So CO2, of course, is a gas. Once this cartridge is punctured, that gas will have some leakage over time. It won't all go away, but there will be some leakage over time. Another interesting thing about Byrna is that now that I've loaded a cartridge in here, you would think that, okay, it's already punctured, it's already leaking, but it's not. It doesn't begin leaking until you click this on here. What is it called? The trigger? So it doesn't so it doesn't start leaking until you pull the trigger. And that's whether you pull the trigger, whether it's in safety or whether it's in fire mode. I had to look because, again, I haven't done this before. So whether you have it in safety or not, the minute that you pull this trigger, that immediately punctures that CO2, and then it doesn't, again, all go away, but some leakage will occur over time. The wonderful thing about this, though, is that you can always be ready. If you're like, well, what if I'm having it for safety, I want to be ready. Well, if I put this cartridge in here, the CO2 cartridge, and I don't press on this trigger here, it's gonna be ready. It'll be ready for you. Don't worry, it'll be ready. And it's gonna be ready for us now because we're gonna go out and practice with it. we've set up a small target here. You can see it over there. And we're going to be using the eco-kinetic projectiles. And one of the reasons that we're using it is because they have powder in them that helps as to be a marker, so that you can see if you're actually shooting this in the right place. And so you guys are going to see me shoot this thing. Right now I'm standing at about 30 feet from my target. So we're going to do 30 feet, we're going to do 50 feet, we're going to do 80 feet, and let's see if I can hit anything. Alright, y'all. So I've got 2 cartridges here. If you hear some shouting in the background, that's our kids on the other side of our property with our older son. So they're quite a bit of ways, because again, we're doing safety first 100% all the time. All right, so I've got 2 cartridges here. They're both filled. Put my glasses on. And we're gonna put the first cartridge in. We're gonna take the safety off, and I'm going to shoot. Let's see, this is the first, you guys. That was a miss, but this is actually pretty good. I mean, I'm always afraid of like any kickback that you might have, and there's literally no kickback on this. Let's try that again. I shot something, and then it popped right back at me.